nobody till somebody cares. You may be king, you may possess the world and its gold, but gold won't bring you happiness in your world. World still is the same, you never change it.
Jesus. H.
God's sakes, Martha.
Oh, George.
Well, I'm sorry, but
What a cluck. What a cluck you are.
it's late, you know. Late.
What a dump. Hey, what's that from? What a dump.
How would I know?
Oh, come on.
Martha.
Oh, what's it from, for God's sake?
What's what from?
I just said it. I just did it. What a dump. What's that from, huh?
Martha, I haven't fixed
Oh,
this
come
idea.
on. You know. It's some goddamn Betty Davis picture, some goddamn Warner Brothers epic.
I don't remember all of the pictures.
Oh, nobody is
Martha,
asking you to remember every goddamn Warner Brothers epic. Just one single little epic. Betty Davis. She gets peritonitis in the end. And she's married to Joseph Cotton or something. Somebody. And she gets peritonitis and she always wants to go to Chicago because she's in love with that actor with the scar. And she sits down in front of her dressing table.
Actor? What scar?
I don't know his name. What's the name of the picture? I want to know what the name of the picture is. So she sits down in front of her dressing table and she's got this peritonitis and she goes to put her lipstick on, but she's sick and she can't, and she gets it all over her face, but she decides to go to Chicago anyway.
Chicago. It's called Chicago.
What is?
The picture, it's called Chicago.
Good grief. Don't you know anything? Chicago was a 1930s musical starring Little Miss Alice Faye. Don't you know anything?
Well, that was probably before my time.
Hey, now you cut that out. Betty Davis, she comes home from a hard day at the grocery store.
She works at a grocery store?
She's a housewife. She buys things. Cluck. So she comes home into the modest living room of the modest cottage that modest Joseph Cotton's got her set up in.
Married?
Yes, they're married to each other. And she puts her groceries down and she looks around and she says, "What a dump."
Oh.
She's discontent.
Oh?
So what's the name of the
I
picture?
really don't know, Martha.
Oh, come on,
I'm
you
tired,
know.
Dear. It's late.
Oh,
And
come on,
besides-
think.
I'm tired, dear. It's late. And
I don't know
besides-
why you're tired. You didn't do anything. Today you didn't have any classes or anything.
Well, I'm tired. If your father didn't set up these goddamn Saturday night orgies all the time, then maybe I could...
That's too bad about you.
Well,
George.
that's how it is, anyway.
You didn't do anything. You never do anything. You never mix. You just sit around and talk.
All right, what do you want me to do? You want me to act like you? You want me to go around all night braying at everybody the way that you do?
I do not bray! nightcap. Are you kidding? We've got guests.
You've got what?
Guests. Guests.
Guests?
Guests. People. Guests. We've got guests coming over.
When?
Now.
For God's sake. Martha, do you know what time? All right, who is coming over?
What's their name?
Who?
What's their
Who?
name?
What's their name?
I don't know what their name is, George. You met them tonight. He's new. He's in the math department or something.
Who are these people?
You met them tonight, George.
I don't remember meeting anyone.
Well, you
tonight.
did. He's in the math department or something. He's about 30, blonde.
And good looking?
Yes, and good looking.
That figures.
And his wife is this mousy little type without any hips or anything.
Oh.
Oh, you remember them now.
Yes, I guess so, Martha. But why in God's name are they coming over here now?
Because Daddy said we should be nice to them.
Oh, Lord.
May I have my drink, please? Daddy said we should be nice to them. Thank you.
But why now, love? It's after 2 o'clock in the morning.
Because Daddy said we should be nice to them.
Yes, but I'm sure that your father didn't mean we were supposed to stay up all night with these people. I mean, we could have them over some Sunday or something. That's just
Well,
as good.
never mind about that. Besides, it is Sunday. Very early Sunday.
It's ridiculous.
Well, it's done.
All right, where are they? We got guests. Where are they?
They'll be here soon.
What? They go home and get some sleep first or something?
They'll be here.
I wish you would tell me about something sometime. I wish you would stop springing things on me all the time.
I do not spring things on you all the time.
Yes, you do. You really do. You're always springing things on me.
Oh, George.
Always.
Poor Georgie Porgy put upon pie. What are you doing? Are you sulking? Is that what you're doing? Let me see. Let me see. Are you sulking?
Never mind, Martha.
Oh.
Don't bother yourself.
Oh. Oh. Hey. 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 Who's afraid of Virginia Woolf? Virginia Woolf. Virginia Woolf. Who's afraid of Virginia Woolf? What's the matter? Didn't you think that was funny? That was a scream, a real scream. You didn't like it, huh?
It was all right, Martha.
You laughed your head off when you heard it at the party.
I smiled. I didn't laugh my head off. I smiled, you know. It was all right.
You laughed your
It was all
goddamn
right,
head off.
Martha.
It was a scream.
It was very funny, yes. God's sake.
You make me puke.
What?
You make me puke.
That wasn't a very nice thing to say, Martha.
That wasn't what?
Very nice thing to say.
Oh, I like your anger. I think that's the thing I like the most about you, your anger. I mean, you're such a simp. You haven't even got the what?
Guts.
Ah, phrase maker. Hey, put some more ice in my drink, will you? You never put any ice in my drink. Why is that, huh?
I always put ice in your drink. You eat it, that's all. That little habit that you have of chewing your ice cubes like a cocker spaniel. You'll crack your big teeth.
They're my big teeth.
Some of them. Some of them.
I've got more teeth than you've got.
2 more.
Well, 2's a lot
I
more.
suppose it is. I suppose it's pretty remarkable, considering how old you are.
Now you cut that out. Cut it out. You're not so young yourself.
I'm 6 years younger than you are. I always have been and I always will be.
Well, you're going bald.
So are you. Hello, honey.
Hi there. Come on over here and give your mommy a big sloppy kiss.
Oh, now?
I want a big sloppy kiss!
I don't want to kiss you, Martha. Where are these people? Where are these people that you invited over?
They stayed on to talk to Daddy. They'll be here. Why don't you want to kiss me?
Because, love, if I kissed you, I'd get all excited. I'd get beside myself and I would take you by force right here on the living room rug. Then our little guests would come in and we'll just think what your father would have to say about that.
You pig.
Oink, oink.
Hey, make me another drink, lover.
My God, you can swill it down, can't you?
I'm thirsty.
Jesus.
Listen, sweetheart, I can drink you under any goddamn table you want, so don't you worry about me.
Martha, I gave you that prize years ago. There isn't an abomination award
Oh,
going.
I swear, if you existed, I'd divorce
Well,
you.
just try to stay on your feet, that's all. These people, they are your guests, you know. And
I can't even see you. I haven't been able to see you in years.
you throw up or you pass out or something.
I mean, you're a blank, a cipher.
Try to keep your clothes on, too. There aren't many more sickening sights than you with a couple of drinks in you and your skirt up over your head, you know.
Zero.
Your heads, I should say.
Oh, party, party!
I am really looking forward to this.
Oh, go
Martha.
answer the door.
You answer it.
I said get over there, you. I'll fix you, you.
To you.
Come on in! I said get over there.
Right. Love, whatever love wants. Isn't it nice that some people have manners, though, even in this day and age? Isn't it nice that some people won't come breaking into other people's houses, even if they do hear some subhuman monster yowling at them from inside?
Fuck you!
Oh, come on in.
Hi,
You must be
hi,
our little
there.
guests,
Come
huh?
on in.
Here we are. Come on in.
Hi. Don't pay any attention to old Sourpuss over there. Give your coats and stuff to Sourpuss.
Well, now, perhaps we shouldn't have come.
Yes,
Oh.
it is late.
Oh, now. Come on in. Just throw your stuff down anywhere and come on in.
Oh, anywhere. Furniture, floor, doesn't make any difference around this place.
I told you we shouldn't have come.
Oh, now, come on. I said come on in, so come on in. Oh, dear. You cut that out.
Martha's a devil with language, she really is.
Hey, kids, sit down.
Isn't this lovely?
Yes, it certainly is.
Oh, thanks.
Who did the,
Oh, that? Oh, that is by,
Some Greek with a mustache, Martha, tapped one night.
it's got a,
Quiet intensity.
No,
Well, then how about
it's,
a certain noisy, relaxed quality, maybe?
no, what I meant was it's
How
got
about a quietly noisy, relaxed intensity?
Dear, you're being joshed.
I'm aware of that.
I am sorry. What it is actually, it's a pictorial representation of the order of Martha's mind.
Make the kids a drink, George. What do you want, kids, huh? What do you want to drink, huh?
Honey, what would you like?
I don't know, dear. A little brandy, maybe? Never mix, never worry.
Brandy, just brandy. Simple. And what about you?
Bourbon on the rocks, if you don't mind.
Mind? No, I don't mind. I don't think I mind. Martha, rubbing alcohol for you.
Sure. Never mix, never worry.
Martha's tastes in liquor have come down, simplified over the years, crystallized. Back when I was courting Martha, Well, hell, I don't know if that's exactly the right word for it, but at any rate, back when I was courting Martha...
True, sweetie.
At any rate, back when I was courting Martha, she would order the damnedest things. Hell, you wouldn't believe it. We'd go into a bar, you know, a bar, a whiskey, beer, and bourbon bar, and what she'd do is, she'd screw up her face. She'd think real hard, and she'd come up with brandy Alexanders, creme de cacao frappes, gimlets, flaming punch bowls, 7-layer liqueur things.
They were good. I liked them.
Real ladylike little drinkies.
Hey, where's my rubbing alcohol?
But the years have brought to Martha the sense of the essentials. The knowledge that cream is for coffee, lime juice is for pies, and alcohol should be pure and simple. There you are, Angel, for the pure and simple. For the mind's blind eye, the heart's ease, and the liver's craw, down the hatch all.
Cheers, dears. You have a poetic nature, George. A Dylan Thomas-y quality that gets me right where I live.
Vulgar girl. Guests here.
Hey! Who's afraid of Virginia Woolf? Virginia Woolf, Virginia Woolf. Who's afraid of Virginia Woolf?
Wasn't that funny? That was so funny.
Yes, it was.
Oh, I thought I'd bust a gut. I really did. I thought I'd bust a gut laughing. George here didn't like it. George didn't think it was funny at all.
Lord, Martha, must we go through all of this again?
Oh, I'm just trying to shame you into a sense of humor, Angel, that's all.
Martha doesn't think that I laugh loud enough. Martha thinks that, unless, as she demurely puts it, that unless you bust a gut, you aren't amused. Unless you carry on like a hyena, you aren't having any fun.
Well, I certainly had fun. It was a wonderful party.
Yes, it certainly was.
And your father, oh, he is so marvelous.
Yes, he is.
He's quite a guy, isn't he? Quite a guy.
And you'd better believe it.
Oh, he's a wonderful man.
I'm not trying to tear him down. He's a god. We all know that.
You lay off my father.
Yes, love. All I mean is that when you've had as many of these faculty parties as I have, you begin
I rather appreciated it. Aside from enjoying it, I appreciated it. You know, when you're new at a place, getting introduced around, getting to know the men. Well, when I was teaching in Kansas...
You wouldn't believe it, but we had to make our way all by ourselves. Isn't that right, dear?
Yes,
We had to make our way. I had to go up to wives at the supermarket or the library and say, "Hi, I'm new here. You must be Mrs. So-and-so, Dr. So-and-so's wife." It really wasn't very nice at all.
Well, Daddy knows how to run things.
He's a remarkable man.
Oh, you bet your sweet life.
Let me tell you a secret, baby. There are easier things in the world. If you happen to be teaching at a university, there are easier things than being married to the daughter of the president of that university. There are easier things in the world.
For some men, it would be an extraordinary opportunity. Some men would think it was the chance of a lifetime.
There are, believe me, easier things in this world.
Well, I can see how it might cause some awkwardness, conceivably, but...
Some men would give their right arm for the chance.
Alas, Martha, in reality it works out that the sacrifices of a somewhat more private portion of the anatomy.
I wonder if you could show me.
Martha.
Are you all right?
Yes, dear. I just want to put some powder on my nose.
Martha, dear, won't you show her where we keep the euphemism?
Oh! I'm sorry. Come with me. I want to show you the rest of the house.
I think I'd like to just...
Well, sure. No problem. Come with me. You two do some men talk while we're gone.
We'll be back, dear.
I swear you really burned me up, George.
All righty.
You really do,
Okay,
George.
just trot along now.
You really do.
Okay, vanish.
Come on.
Vanish.
Stick to bourbon, I guess.
Is that what you were drinking over at Parnassus?
Over at,
Parnassus.
I don't understand.
Skip it. One bourbon.
Thank you.
It's just a private joke between little old Martha and me. So, you're in the math department, isn't that right?
No, no.
Martha said that you were. I think that's what she said. What made you decide to be a teacher?
Well, the same things that motivated you, I imagine.
What were they?
Pardon?
I said, what were they? What were the things that motivated me?
Well, I'm sure I don't know.
Oh, you just finished saying that the things that motivated you were the
I
same things that
said
motivated
I
me.
imagined they were.
Oh, did you? Well, do you like it here?
Yes, it's fine.
I mean, university.
Oh, I thought you meant...
Yes, I can see that you did. I meant the university.
Well, I like it fine, just fine. You've been here quite a long time, haven't you?
What? Oh, yes. Ever since I married, what's her name? Oh, Martha. Even before that, forever, dashed hopes and good intentions, good, better, best, bested. How do you like that for a declension, young man? Hmm?
Sir, I'm sorry if we...
You didn't answer my question.
Sir?
Don't condescend to me. I asked you how you like that for a declension. Good, better, best, bested. Well?
Well, I really don't know what to say.
You really don't know what to say?
All right, what would you like me to say? Would you like me to say it's sad so that you can contradict me and say it's funny? Or would you like for me to say it's funny so you can turn right around and say it's sad? You can play that damn little game any way you want to, you know.
Very good.
And-
Very good.
And when my wife comes back, I think we'll just...
Now just calm down, my boy, please. Just calm down. All right, what do you want? Another drink? Here, give me your glass.
I still have one, and when my wife comes back, I
Well,
do think that we'll just...
I'll freshen it, please. Give me your glass.
You two, you and your wife, seem to be having
Martha
some sort of...
and I are having nothing. Martha and I are merely exercising. We're merely walking out what's left of our wits. Now, don't you pay any attention to it.
Still...
Let's just let you and me sit down and talk, huh?
I just don't like to become involved in other people's affairs.
Oh, you'll get over that. It's a small college and all. Musical beds is the faculty sport around here.
Sir?
I said musical beds is the... Never mind it. I wish you wouldn't go sir like that. Not with a question mark at the end of it, you know? Sir. I mean, I know it's meant to be a sign of respect for your elders, but the way you do it. Sir, madam.
No disrespect intended.
How old are you?
I'm 28.
I'm 40-something. Aren't you surprised? Don't I look older? Doesn't this gray quality suggest the 50s? Don't I sort of fade into backgrounds, get lost in the cigarette smoke, huh?
I think you look fine.
Well, I've always been lean. I haven't put on 5 pounds since I was your age. I don't have a paunch either. What I've got is just this distension just below the belt, but it's firm. It's not soft flesh. I use the handball courts. How much do you weigh?
I
185, 190, something like that? Do you play handball?
Yes. No. What I meant was
we
not
shall
very well.
play sometime. Martha, she is 125 years old. She weighs somewhat more than that. How old is your wife?
26.
Martha is a remarkable woman. I'd imagine she weighs around 110.
Your wife weighs...
No! No, my boy, your wife. My wife is Martha.
Yes, I know.
If you were married to Martha, you would know what it means. But, then again, if I were married to your wife, I would know what that means too, wouldn't I?
Yes.
Yeah. Martha says you're in the math department or something.
No, I'm not.
Martha is seldom mistaken. Maybe you should be in the math department or something.
I'm a biologist. I'm in the biology department.
Oh. Oh.
Sir?
You're the one. You're the one that's going to make all that trouble making everyone the same, rearranging the chromosomes or whatever it is. Isn't that right?
Not exactly. Chromosomes.
I'm very mistrustful. Do you believe that people learn nothing from history? Not that there is nothing to learn, mind you, but that people learn nothing. I'm in the history department.
Well, I think that's...
I'm a doctor. A.B., M.A., Ph.D., abmified. Abmified has been variously described as a wasting disease of the frontal lobes and as a wonder drug. It's actually both. I'm really very mistrustful. Biology, huh? I read somewhere that science fiction, it isn't really fiction at all. That you people are rearranging my genes so that everyone will look like everyone else. Now, I won't have that. I mean, it'd be a shame. I mean, just look at me. Is it such a great idea if everyone was 40-something but they looked 55? Well, you didn't answer my question about history.
Now, about this genetic business you're
that?
talking about, I
That's
think...
very upsetting. It's very disappointing. But history's a great deal more disappointing. I'm in the history department.
Yes, you told me.
I know I told you. I shall probably tell you several more times. Martha tells me often that I am in the history department as opposed to being the history department. In the sense of running the history department, I do not run the history department.
Well, I don't run the biology department.
You're 21.
28.
28. Perhaps when you were 40-something and you look 55, you'll run the history department.
Biology.
Biology department. Excuse me. I did run the history department for 4 years during the war, but that was just because everyone was away. And then everybody came back because nobody got killed. That's New England for you. Isn't that amazing? Not one single man in this whole place got his head shot off. That's pretty irrational. Your wife, she doesn't have any hips, does she? Has she?
What?
Oh, well, I don't mean to imply that I'm hip happy. I'm not one of those 36, 22, 78 men. No, sirree, not me. Everything in proportion. I was just simply implying that your wife is slim-hipped.
Yes, she is.
What are they doing up there? I assume that's where they are anyway.
You know women.
Not one son of a bitch got killed. Of course, they never did bomb Washington. No, that's not fair. You have any kids?
Oh, no, not yet. You?
That's for me to know and for you to find out.
Indeed?
No kids, huh?
Not yet.
People do have kids. That's what I meant about history. You people, you're gonna make them in test tubes, aren't you? You biologists, the baby. What will become of the tax deduction? Has anyone figured that out yet? That you are going to have children anyway, in spite of history.
Yes, certainly. Once we get settled, we'll...
And this is your heart's content. Illyria, Penguin Island, Gomorrah, you think you're going to be happy here in New Carthage.
Well, I hope we'll stay.
And every definition has its boundaries. I mean, it isn't a bad college, I guess. I mean, it'll do. It isn't MIT. It isn't UCLA. It isn't the Sorbonne or Moscow U either, for that matter.
I didn't mean forever.
Oh, don't let that get bandied about. The old man wouldn't like it. Martha's father expects loyalty and devotion out of his going to use another word. Martha's father expects his staff to cling to the walls of this place like the ivy, to come here and grow old, to fall in the line of service. One man, a professor of Latin and elocution, actually fell in the cafeteria line one lunch. He was buried, as many of us have been, and many more of us will be, under the shrubbery around the chapel. It is said, and I have no reason to doubt it, that we make excellent fertilizer. But the old man is not going to be buried under the shrubbery. No, that old man's not going to die. Martha's father has the staying power of one of those Micronesian tortoises. There are rumors, which you must not breathe in front of Martha, for she foams at the mouth, that the old man, her father, is over 200 years old. There's probably an irony involved in this, but I'm not drunk enough to figure out what it is. How many kids are you going to have?
I don't know. My wife is...
Slim-hipped. Oh, have a drink.
Yes.
Martha! Damn it. You asked me if I knew women. Well, one thing I don't know about them is what they talk about while the men are talking. I must find out sometime. What do you want? Isn't that a wonderful sound? What I mean is, what do you think they really talk about? Or don't you care?
Themselves, I would imagine.
George! Do you find women puzzling?
Well, yes and no.
Uh-huh. Oh, well, here comes one of you, please.
She'll be right down. Dear, you must see this house. It's such a beautiful old house.
Yes,
Martha! Give me a minute, for Christ's sake, will ya?
She'll be right down. She's changing.
What? She's changing?
Yes.
Her clothes?
Her dress.
Why?
Well, I imagine she wants to be comfortable.
Oh, she does she?
Well, heavens, I
You don't know.
you know about me.
Yes, dear, perfectly fine.
So, she wants to be comfortable, does she? Well, we'll just have to see about that.
I didn't know until just a minute ago that you had a son.
What?
Well,
A son, I hadn't known.
well, you to know and me to find out. He must be a very big...
21. 21 tomorrow. Tomorrow is his birthday.
Well.
She told you about it?
Well, yes.
She
Well, I mean,
told you about it.
yes.
You say that she's changing?
Yes.
And she mentioned our...
Your son's birthday, yes.
Okay, Martha, okay.
You're looking a little pale, honey. Would you like...
A little more
some,
brandy, please, just a drop.
Okay, Martha.
May I use the bar?
Oh, yes, by all means, go right ahead. Drink away. You'll need it as these years go on. Goddamn destructive.
What time is it, dear?
It's 2:30.
Oh, we really should be getting home. It's
For what?
late.
Keeping the babysitter up or something?
I told you we don't have any children.
I am sorry. I wasn't listening or thinking, whichever one applies.
We'll go in a little while.
Oh, no, now you mustn't. Martha, she is changing. And Martha is not changing for me. Martha hasn't changed for me in years. If Martha is changing, it means we'll be here for days. You are being accorded an honor. And you must not forget that Martha is the daughter of our beloved boss. She is his right ball, you might say.
Well, you might not understand this, but I wish you wouldn't speak that way in front of my wife.
Oh, now.
Really? Oh. Nope. Well, you're quite right. We'll leave that sort of talk to Martha.
What sort of talk?
There you are, my pet.
Oh, well, now.
Martha, your Sunday chapel dress.
That's most attractive.
You like it? Good. Now, what do you mean screaming up the stairs at me like
You
that?
got lonely, darling? We got lonely for the soft purr of your little voice.
Oh. Well, in that case, why don't you trot over to the Bari
And
Poo?
make your mommy a great big twink.
That's right. Say, you two men have a nice talk while we were out? You solve all the world's problems as usual?
Well, no.
No, what we did actually, if you really want to know, what we did actually was we tried to figure out what you two were talking about.
Aren't they something? Aren't these men the absolute end? Why didn't you sneak upstairs and listen in?
I wouldn't have listened, Martha. I would have peeked.
Oh.
It's a conspiracy.
Now we'll never know. Shucks.
Say, you must be quite a boy getting your master's at, what was it, 12?
Oh.
Hear that, George?
Oh, 12 and a half, actually. No, 19, really.
Oh.
Honey, you need to mention that.
I'm proud of you.
That's very impressive.
You're damn right.
I said I was impressed, Martha. What do you want me to do, throw up? That is very impressive, and you should be right proud.
No, he's a pretty nice fella.
I wouldn't be surprised if you did take over the history department one of
The
these.
biology department.
Excuse me. I seem preoccupied with history.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness, what a remark. I am preoccupied with history. I think I'll make myself another drink.
Oh. George is not preoccupied with history. George is preoccupied with the history department. He is preoccupied with the history department
Because he is not the history department, but he's only in the history department. We know, Martha. We went all through it while you were upstairs getting up. There's no need to go through all of it again.
That's right, baby. Keep it clean. George is bogged down in the history department. He is an old bog in the history department. That's what he is, a bog, a fen, a GD swamp. Hey, swamp. Hey, Swampy!
Yes, Martha. Can I get you something?
Well, you can light my cigarette if you're up a mind to.
No, there are limits. Man can only take so much without he descends a rung or two on the old evolutionary ladder, which is up your line. Sinks, Martha. And it's a funny ladder. You can't reverse yourself. Start back up once you're descending. Now, I'll hold your hand when it's dark and you're afraid of the boogeyman. And I'll tote your gin bottles out after midnight so that no one will see. But I will not light your cigarette. And that, as they say, is that.
Hey, you played football, huh?
Dear?
Oh, yes, I played football. I was a quarterback, but I was really more adept at boxing.
Boxing? Ah, did you hear that, George?
Yes, Martha.
Oh, Bob, you look like you must have been pretty good at it. I mean, you don't look like you got hit in the face at all.
He was intercollegiate light state heavyweight champion.
Honey.
Well, you were.
Well, and you look like you've still got a pretty good body on you too. Have you?
Martha, decency forbids.
Shut up. Have you? Have you kept your body?
It's pretty good. I still work out.
Do you?
Yeah.
Yes, he has a very firm body.
Have you? Oh, I think that's very nice.
Well, you know what they say, once you have it.
You never know when it's gonna come in handy.
I was gonna say, once you have it, Why give it up till you have to?
Oh, I couldn't agree with you more. I couldn't agree with you more.
Martha, your obscenity is more than there.
Oh. George over there isn't too happy when we start in with the body talk. George doesn't like it too much when the conversation moves to muscle, you know, flat bellies, pectorals.
Would you like to take a walk with me around the garden?
Oh, now.
Oh, you're amused. All right.
And Paunchy over there isn't too happy when the talk turns to muscle. What do you weigh?
195 pounds.
Oh, still at the old light heavyweight limit, huh?
Yeah.
George, tell them about the boxing match we had.
Christ.
Oh, come on, George, tell them.
Now, Martha, you tell him about it. You're good at it.
Is he all right?
Oh, sure. So, George and I had this boxing match, man, it must have been 20 years ago, a few years after we were married.
A boxing match, the two of you.
Really?
Yep, the two of us, really.
I can't even imagine it.
No, well, I mean, it wasn't in a ring or anything like that. No, it was wartime, and Daddy was on this physical fitness kick. Daddy has always admired physical fitness. He says a man is more than just a mind. He has a body too, and it's his responsibility to make sure both of them are working.
Uh-huh.
Yes, he says the mind can't work if the body isn't working too.
Well, that's not exactly so.
Well,
see,
maybe that isn't exactly what he said. Something like that. But it was wartime. And Daddy got this idea that all the men needed to learn how to box. Self-defense. I guess the idea was that if the Germans landed on the coast, the whole faculty would go out and punch them to death or something. I don't know.
Well, it's probably more the principle of the thing.
No kidding. So, anyway, Daddy had a bunch of us over one Sunday, and we were out in the back, and Daddy put the boxing gloves on himself. Daddy's a very strong man, you know that. And he was asking George to box with him, and George didn't want to. Probably something about bloodying up his meal ticket or something.
Oh.
And so Daddy was saying, "Oh, come on now, young man. What kind of a son-in-law are you?" and stuff like that. And so while all that is going on, I don't know why I did it. I got into a pair of boxing gloves. I mean, I didn't lace them up or anything. And I snuck up behind George. And I yelled, "Hey, George!" And when I did, I just let go with a kind of roundhouse right. Just kidding, right? And George whipped around real quick. And he caught it pow right in the jaw. That was just a joke. But he was off balance, he must have been. And he stumbled back a couple of steps. And then he fell, crashed right into a huckleberry bush. It was just a joke. Oh, I think it's colored our whole life. I really do. Well, I mean, it's an excuse anyway. It's what he uses as an excuse for being bogged down in the history department. And it was an accident, a real goddamn accident.
How? You're dead! How? You're dead!
Let me see that, will you?
I've had that for quite a while. Did you like that?
Where did you get that, you
Never
bastard?
heard so right in my life.
This is quite a gadget.
You bastard. Yeah, that was pretty funny. Come here and give me a kiss.
Later, sweetie.
No.
picture after, is it? Huh? What are we gonna have? Blue games for the guests, huh? Huh? Everything in its place, Martha. Everything in its own good time. There, let me show you. It goes back in like this here. Just like this. Fold it right on up. And it just folds right.
Oh, that's damn clever.
Oh, drinks now. Drinks for all, huh? There we go.
I'm not finished.
I could use something.
Is that Japanese?
Probably.
I have never been so frightened. Weren't you frightened just for a second?
I don't remember.
Oh, now I bet you were.
Do you think I was really going to kill you, Martha?
You kill me? That's a laugh.
Well, I might. One of these days.
Fat chance.
Alrighty. Here's a little bourbon.
Where's the jar?
Oh, pal, it's right through that hole down there and then to your left.
Don't you come back with any guns or anything now.
No.
Yeah, you don't need any props, do you, baby? Yeah, no fake Jap gun for you, huh?
May I leave my drink here?
Oh, sure, by all means, go right ahead. We've got half-filled glasses all over this house, wherever Martha dear forgets she's left them. In the linen closet, on the edge of the bathtub. Hell, I even found one in the freezer once.
You did not.
Yes, I did.
You did not.
Yes, I did. So, brandy doesn't give you a hangover?
I never mix. And then I don't drink very much either.
Well, that's good. Your husband, he was telling me all about the chromosomes.
The what?
The chromosomes, Martha, the genes, or whatever they are. You really have quite a terrifying husband.
No.
No, really. I mean, he's quite terrifying with his chromosomes and all.
He's in the math department.
No, Martha, he's a biologist.
He's in the math department.
Biology.
Are you sure?
I ought to. Be.
I suppose so. I don't know who said he was in the math department.
You did, Martha.
Well, I can't be expected to remember everything. I mean, 15 new teachers and their goddamn wife's present company outlawed course, and I'm supposed to remember everything. So he's in the biology department. Good for him. Biology's even better. It's less abstruse. Abstruse! In the sense of recondite. Don't you tell me words. Biology's even better. It's right at the meat of things. You are right at the meat of things, baby.
Oh?
They thought you were in the math department.
Well, maybe I ought to be.
Oh, no. You stay right where you are. You stay right at the meat of things.
You're obsessed with that phrase, Martha. It's ugly.
You stay right where you are. Hell, you can take over the history department just as easy from there as anywhere else. God knows somebody's got to take over the history department someday. And it ain't gonna be Georgie boy over there, is it? Is it, Swampy, huh?
In my mind, Martha, you were buried in cement right up to your neck. No, right up to your nose. That's much quieter.
Georgie boy here says that you are terrifying. Why are you terrifying?
Oh, I didn't know I was.
It's because of the chromosomes.
Oh, the chromosome business.
What's all this about chromosomes?
Well, chromosomes are...
I know what chromosomes are, sweetie. I love them.
Well, then...
Martha eats them. For breakfast, she sprinkles them on her cereal. It's very simple, Martha. This young man here is working on a system whereby chromosomes makeup of a sperm cell change. Reordered. To order. Actually, from hair and eye color, stature, potency, I imagine, hairiness, features, health, and mind. Most important, mind. All imbalances will be corrected, sifted out. Propensity for various diseases will be gone. Longevity assured. We will have a race of men, test tube bred, incubator born, superb and sublime.
Huh, how exciting.
But everyone will tend to look rather the same. Alike, everyone, and I'm sure I'm not wrong here, will tend to look like this young man right here.
Oh, that's not a bad idea.
It will be, on the surface of it, be all rather pretty, quite jolly, but there will be a dank side to it too. Certain amount of regulation will be necessary for the experiment to succeed. Certain number of sperm tubes will have to be cut. Millions upon millions of the millions of tiny little slicing operations that will leave just the smallest of scars on the underside of the scrotum, but which will assure the sterility of the imperfect, the ugly, the stupid, the unfit.
Now look.
And with this, in time, we shall have a race of glorious men. I suspect we will not have much music or much painting, but we will have a civilization of men, smooth, blonde, and right as the light of heavyweight women. A race of scientists and mathematicians, each dedicated and working to the greater glory of the super civilization.
Goody.
There will be a certain loss of liberty, I imagine, as a result of this experiment, but diversity, it will no longer be the goal. Cultures and races will eventually vanish. The ants will take over the world.
Are you finished?
And I, naturally, am rather opposed to all this history, which is my field, history of which I am one of the most famous bogs, will lose its glorious variety and unpredictability. I, and with me, the surprise, the multiplexity, the sea-changing rhythm of history will be eliminated. There will be order and constancy, and I am unalterably opposed to it. I will not give up Berlin.
You'll give up Berlin, sweetheart. You're gonna defend it with your punch?
I don't see what Berlin has anything to do with this.
There is a saloon in West Berlin where the bar stools are 5 feet high, and the earth, the floor, is so far beneath you. I will not give up things like that. No, I won't. I will fight you, young man. One hand on my scrotum, to be sure, but with my free hand, I will battle you to the death.
Bravo.
Yeah, and I'm gonna be the wave of the future.
Oh, you bet you are, baby.
I don't see why you want to do any of these things. You never told me.
For God's sake. The most profound indication of a social malignancy. No sense of humor. None of the monoliths could take a joke. Read history. I know something about history.
You don't seem to know much about science, do you?
I know something about history. I know when I'm being threatened.
So, everybody's gonna look like you, huh?
Oh, sure. I'm gonna be a personal fucking machine.
You mustn't.
Isn't that nice?
Mustn't.
I'm sorry, honey.
Such language.
I'm sorry, honey.
Right. What is your son?
What?
Something about your son.
Son!
Where is your son coming home?
Oh, Martha, when is our son coming home?
Never mind.
No. Nope. I want to know. You brought it out into the open, so now I want to know. Martha, when is our son coming home?
Never mind. I'm sorry I brought it up.
Him up. You brought him up. Well, more or less. Now, when's the little bugger going to appear, huh? I mean, is it tomorrow meant to be his birthday?
I don't want to talk about it.
But Martha...
I don't want to talk about it.
I bet you don't. Martha doesn't want to talk about it. Him. sorry she brought it up. Him.
When's the little bugger coming home?
Honey, do you really?
Yes, that's right, Martha. Since you had the bad taste to bring the matter up in the first place, when is the little bugger coming on?
George talks disparagingly about the little bugger because he has problems.
Little bugger has problems? What problems has the little bugger
Not
got?
the little bugger. Stop calling him that. You've got problems.
I have never heard of anything more ridiculous in all my life.
Neither have I.
Honey.
George's biggest problem with the little with our son, our great big son, is that deep in the private-most pit of his gut, he's not completely sure it's his own kid.
My God, you are a wicked woman.
And I've told you a million times, baby, I wouldn't conceive with anyone but you. You know that.
Deeply wicked person.
I'm not sure that this is a subject.
Martha's lying. I want to tell you that right now, that Martha is lying. There are very many things in this world that I am sure of. National boundaries, the level of the ocean, practical morality, political allegiances. None of these things would I stake my stick on anymore. But the one thing in this whole stinking world that I am sure of is my partnership. My chromosomological partnership in the creation of our blonde-eyed, blue-haired son.
I'm so glad.
That was a very pretty speech, George.
Thank you, Martha.
Yeah. You rose to the occasion good. Real good.
Well, real well.
Honey.
Martha knows. She knows better.
I know better. I've been to college like everyone else.
Martha been to college. Martha been to convent when she were a little twig of a thing, too.
And I was an atheist. I still am.
Not an atheist, Martha, a pagan. Martha is the only true pagan on the eastern seaboard.
That's nice. Isn't that nice, dear?
Yes, marvelous.
Martha, she paints blue circles around her thing.
You do?
Sometimes. You want to see? Yourself, you old floozy.
He's not a floozy. He can't be a floozy. You're a floozy.
Well, now you watch yourself.
All right. May I have a little nipper of brandy, please?
Honey, don't you think you...
No, nonsense. Well, everybody's ready, it looks like.
Nonsense.
Okay.
And our son does not have blue hair either. He doesn't have blue eyes for that matter. He has green eyes. He has the loveliest green eyes that, like mine.
He does not, Martha. He has blue eyes.
Green.
Blue, Martha.
Green! He has green eyes like mine. They aren't all flaked with brown and gray. They are pure, deep green. Like mine.
Your eyes are brown, aren't they?
Green! Well, in some lights they might look brown, but they're green. Not green like his. More hazel. George has watery blue eyes. Milky blue.
Oh, make up your mind, Martha.
I was giving you the benefit of the doubt. Daddy has green eyes, too.
He does not. Your father has tiny little red eyes like a white mouse. In fact, he is a white mouse.
You wouldn't dare say a thing like that if he was here. You're a coward.
You know that great shock of white hair, and those beady little red eyes, a great big white mouth.
George hates my father. Not for anything Daddy's ever done to him, but because of his own.
Inadequacy.
That's right, baby. You hit it right on the snout. Where the hell do you think you're going?
We need some more booze, Angel.
Oh. So go.
Thank you.
He's a good bartender. A good bar nurse. Son of a bitch hates my father, you know that?
Oh, come on.
No! You think I'm kidding? You think I'm joking? Ha! I never joke. I don't have a sense of humor. I have a fine sense of the ridiculous, but no sense of humor. I have no sense of humor.
Neither have I.
Yes, you do, honey. A quiet one.
Thank you.
So do you want to know why the SOB hates my father? Should I tell you? All right. I will now tell you why the SOB hates my father.
Good.
Some people feed on the calamities of others.
They do not.
Honey.
All right, now shut up, both of you. Mommy died early, see, and I sort of grew up with Daddy. I mean, I went away to school and everything, but I more or less grew up with Daddy. God, I admired that man. I worshipped him, absolutely worshipped him. I still do. And he was pretty fond of me too. We had a real rapport going, you know, a real rapport.
Yeah.
So, after I got done with school and stuff, I came back here and I sort of just sat around for a while. I wasn't married or anything. Well, I'd been married, sort of, for a week. My sophomore year at Miss Muff's Academy for Young Ladies, college. A sort of junior lady Chatterley situation, as it turned out, the marriage. He mowed the lawns at Miss Muff's. Sitting up there all naked on a big power mower, mowing away. But Daddy and Miss Muff got together and put a stop to that real quick. Annulled. Which is a laugh if you think about it, because theoretically you can't get an annulment if there's been entrance. So I was re-virginized, finished at Miss Muff's, where they had one less gardener's boy, and a real shame that was too. So I came back here and just sort of sat around for a while. I took care of Daddy and I played hostess for him, and it was nice. It was very nice.
Yes, yes.
What do you mean, yes, yes? How would you know, cutie? And it was about that time that I got the idea in my head to marry into the college. And it didn't seem as stupid as an idea as it turned out. I mean, Daddy had a sense of history, of continuation. Why don't you come over here and sit by me?
Well, I don't think I should.
Suit yourself. Of continuation of history. He had always had it in the back of his mind to kind of groom someone to take over someday when he would retire. A succession, you know?
Yes, I do.
Yeah. Shut up, cutie. And Daddy built this college. I mean, he built it up from what it was. You know what the endowment was when he took over and what it is now?
Yeah.
You look it up sometime.
I read about it.
Yeah, shut up. So, I had this idea that I should marry into the college. And I was looking out for prospects among the new men. It wasn't Daddy's idea that I necessarily had to marry the guy. I mean, I wasn't an albatross. You didn't have to take me to get the prize, so to speak. It was an idea I had in the back of my mind. And a lot of the new men were married, naturally.
Sure.
Like you, baby.
Like you, baby.
And then along came George. Along come George.
Along come George, Baron Hooch. What are you doing now, Martha?
I'm telling a story. Sit down, you'll learn something.
Alrighty.
You've come back.
That's right.
Dear, he's come back.
Yes, I see.
Where was I?
I'm so glad.
Oh, yeah. Along come George. Into the history department, who was young and intelligent and bright-eyed and sort of cute, if you can believe that.
And younger than you?
And younger than me.
By 6 years.
By 6 years. It doesn't bother me, George.
Okay.
So along came George into the history department, and do you know what I did? Dumb cluck that I am? I fell for him.
That's nice.
Yes, she did.
Oh, hell, you should have seen it. She would sit outside of my room at night on the lawn, and she'd howl and claw at the turf. I couldn't work.
I actually fell for him. It. That there.
Oh, Martha is a romantic at
That
heart.
I am. So I fell for him. And the match seemed practical too, you know? I mean, Daddy had always had it into his head
Just a minute,
to
Martha.
train somebody
Just
to
a
take
minute,
over
Martha.
someday when he decided to retire.
Stop it,
and-
Martha!
What do you want?
I thought you were telling the story of our courtship, Martha. I didn't know you were going to go in on this other business.
Well, I am.
Oh, well, I wouldn't if I were you.
Oh, you wouldn't? Well, you're not.
See, Martha, you already sprung a leak about you-know-what.
What? What?
About the apple of our eye, the sprouts, the little bugger, our son. Now, I warn you, Martha, if you start in on this other business, it's just going to make me angry.
Oh, it is it?
I warn you.
You what?
I warn you.
Do we really have to go through
I
all of
stand warned. So, I married the SOB. And I had it all planned out. He was the groom. He was going to be groomed. He'd take over. First, he'd take over the history department. And then, later, when Daddy retired, he'd take over the college. That's the way it was supposed to be. You getting angry, baby? That's the way it was supposed to be. Very simple. And Daddy seemed to think it was a good idea, too. At first. Until he watched for a couple of years. You getting angrier? Until he watched for a couple of years and he decided maybe it wasn't such a good idea after all. I mean, George didn't really seem to have much push. He wasn't particularly aggressive. In fact, he was a great,
Just stop it, Martha.
big, he was a flop. A great big fat flop.
Oh. I said stop it, Martha.
I hope that was an empty bottle, George. Can't afford to waste good liquor. Not on your salary. Not on an associate professor's salary. I mean, he'd be no good at fundraisers, trustees, dinners. He didn't seem to have any personality, you know what I mean? Which was a disappointment to Daddy, as you can imagine.
Don't go on.
Oh, hell I won't. So here I am, married to this flop,
All right.
this bog in the
All
history
right.
department, who's married to the president's daughter.
Who's afraid
Who's
of
supposed to
Virginia
actually
Woolf?
be
Virginia
somebody,
Woolf.
not just
Virginia
some
Woolf.
nobody,
Who's
some
afraid of
bookworm,
Virginia
somebody
Woolf?
who's so
Early in
goddamn
the
contemplative that he can't
Who's
even
afraid
make
of
anything
Virginia
out of
Woolf?
himself.
Virginia Woolf.
Somebody
Virginia
without the
Woolf.
guts to make
Who's
anybody proud
afraid
of
of
him.
Virginia
All
Woolf?
right, George.
I'm gonna be sick. I'm gonna vomit.
Oh, for God's sake.
Yes, sir.
I guess she's all right. She shouldn't drink. She's frail. Slim hipped as you'd have it. I'm really terribly sorry.
Where's my little yum-yum? Where's Martha?
She's making coffee in the kitchen. She gets sick quite easily.
Martha? Oh, no. Martha hasn't been sick a day in her life unless you count the time she spends in the rest home.
No, no. My wife. My wife gets sick quite easily. Your wife is Martha.
Yes,
She
I
does,
know.
she doesn't really spend any time in the rest home.
Your wife?
No, yours.
Oh, mine. No. Nope, she doesn't. I would. If I were her. I would, but I'm not, so I don't. I'd like to, though. It gets pretty bouncy around here sometimes.
Yes, I'm sure.
You saw an example of it.
I try not to.
Get involved. Isn't that right?
Yes, that's right.
I'd imagine not.
I find it embarrassing.
Oh, do you, huh?
Yes, really, quite.
Yes, really. Quite. It's disgusting.
Now look,
It's disgusting. Do you think I like having the, whatever it is, ridiculing me, tearing me down in front of you? Do you think I care for it?
No, I don't imagine you care for it at all.
Oh, you don't imagine it, huh?
No, I don't imagine you do.
Your sympathy disarms me. Your compassion makes me weep. Large, salty, unscientific tears.
I just don't understand why you and your wife feel you need to subject other people to it. If you and your wife want to go around talking to each other like a couple of
Why I want to.
animals, I don't see why you don't wait
Why
for...
you smug
Hey, you
self-righteous
get it, mister!
little scientist.
I've never hit an older man.
So, you just hit, younger men. Children, women, birds. Well, you're quite right, of course. It isn't the prettiest spectacle seeing a couple of middle-aged types hacking away at each other, all red in the face and winded, missing half the time.
You two don't miss. You're pretty impressive.
Impressive things impress you, don't they? You're easily impressed, sort of a pragmatic idealism.
No, it's just that sometimes I can admire things that I don't admire. Now, flagellation isn't my idea of a good time, but
you could admire a good flagellator, a real pro.
yeah.
So, your wife, she throws up a lot, huh?
I didn't say that. I said she gets sick quite easily.
Oh, I thought that by sick you meant
Well, it's true. She throws up an awful lot. And when she gets started, there's practically no stopping her. She'll go right on for hours. Not all the time, but regularly.
you could tell time by her, huh?
Just about.
Great.
Sure. I married her because she was pregnant.
Oh? But you said you didn't have any children when I asked you before.
She wasn't went down.
And while she was up, you married her.
And then she went down.
Bourbon is right, huh?
Yes, bourbon.
When I was going to prep school, when I was 16, during the Punic Wars, there's a bunch of us used to go into New York on the first day of vacations before we fanned out to our homes. And in the evening, this bunch of us would go to this gin mill owned by the gangster father of one of us. For this was during the Great Experiment, you see, or Prohibition, as it's more frequently called. And it was a bad time for the liquor lobbies, but it was a fine time for the crooks and the cops. And we would go into this gin mill, and we'd drink with the grown-ups, and we'd listen to the jazz. and this one time, in the bunch of us, there was this boy who was 15 who had killed his mother with a shotgun some years before, and accidentally, completely accidentally, without even an unconscious motivation, I have no doubt at all. But at any rate, this one evening, this boy went with us, and we'd all ordered our drinks, and when it came his turn, he said, "I'll have some virgin." "Give me some virgin, please. Virgin and water." Well, we all laughed. I mean, he was blonde, he had the face of a cherub, and we all laughed. And his cheeks went red and the color rose in his neck. And the assistant cook who had taken our order, he went and told the people at the next table what the boy had said. And they all laughed. More people were told. The laughter grew, and more people, more laughter. And no one was laughing more than us, and none of us laughing more than that boy who had killed his mother. And after a little while, of course, everyone in the gin mill, they knew what the laughter was about. Everyone started ordering virgin and laughing while they did it. And of course, after some time, the laughter became less general, but it didn't subside entirely for quite some time. For always at this table or that, someone would order virgin, and a new area of laughter would rise. We drank free that night, and we were bought champagne by the management, by the gangster father of one of us. And of course we suffered the next day. Each of us alone on his train, away from New York, and each of us with a grown-up's hangover, but it was the grandest day of my youth.
Thank you. What happened to the boy? The boy who shot his mother?
I won't tell you that.
All right.
The following summer, on a country road with his learner's permit in his pocket and his father on the front seat to his right, she swerved the car to avoid a porcupine, and he drove straight into a large tree.
No.
He was not killed, of course, and in the hospital when he was conscious and out of danger, and after they told him that his father was dead,